come into a comfortable seated position. And that might, can you see my feet? Let's do it a little more like that. Whoop. I think that's better. And then let's pin this. All right. Okay, so comfortable seated position, whatever that is. And that might mean that you're sitting on a block or sitting on a bolster. And it could be your legs crossed. It could be your legs extended out in front of you. It could be bottoms of the feet together, knees fall open. Just make yourself really comfortable. And let's start with our 3 cleansing breaths. So bring your hands to prayer at your heart. And take a really big inhale through your nose as the arms fan up overhead, fill up. Exhale out your mouth as the hands come heart center. 2 more, just like that. Big inhale, arms fan up, fill up. Exhale, let it go. 1 more, big inhale, your biggest one yet. Fan up, fill up, be grateful. And exhale to release. And then just take a moment of stillness, a moment of meditation, a moment to check in. How are we feeling today? So just take a little moment to body, mind, soul, do a little check-in. How are we feeling in our bodies? Are we holding on to any kind of tension and tightness? Probably feeling our legs a little bit from yesterday. Are we holding on to any tension anywhere? So soften the muscles in your face, relax the shoulders down your back. Anything that's particularly tender and tight, let's just breathe into it and soften. And then next, check in emotionally. How are you feeling today? And however it is fine. Let's not judge it. Let's just hold some space for exactly where we are right now. And maybe it's a space where you need to give yourself a big hug. Maybe you're feeling energized and joyful today. Maybe the opposite of that. Whatever that is, just take a moment to feel it and allow yourself to process it versus trying to change it. And then finally, let's give a little check-in to that wild animal in our head, that crazy monkey mind. What is going on today? What are the nagging thoughts of the morning? And let's just, for these next 40 minutes, let those thoughts go out the door, shove them outside, close the door, and come right back to your breath, to your comfortable seat, to your little magical carpet. Nice. And let's take 1 more big inhale right here. Arms fan up overhead. And then exhale, I want you to take your right hand over to the right side, and the left arm is going to reach up and over. So that left sit bone is going to have a tendency to pop up off the mat. I want you to press down through that left sit bone as you reach through your left fingertips. Really, really stretch through that whole side body. Ah, lovely. And then rise back up, bringing the left ear to your left shoulder, placing your left hand like right above your ear. Now, I don't want you to push or pull or be any kind of forceful right here. We're just really gently enhancing the stretch down the side of the right neck. And then keeping your head tilted towards the left, take your chin down towards your chest, and then take the hand to the back of the head. And now you feel it a little bit more in the back of the neck, the back right of the neck. And then lift the chin up towards the sky. Bring your hand to your forehead and a nice stretch down the front of the throat. So it's like the right side of the throat here. Nice. And let's release that. Taking your left hand out to the left now, reach that right arm up and over, stretching from the sit bones all the way to the fingertips. Reach, 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 reach. And then let's take our stretch on the other side. So bring that right ear to your right shoulder. And again, we're not pushing or pulling or forcing, just gently giving that stretch a little more weight. Feels so nice. And then let's tuck our chin down towards our chest, hand to the back of the head. Awesome. Lift the chin up towards the sky, hand to the forehead. release. Take a little check in with your neck. How's it feeling? Much better. Okay, grab your strap or maybe a belt, a dog leash, a scarf, a towel, whatever you have. And you're gonna have a pretty decent wide grip on it. Mine, I'm sitting cross-legged and my width is about a fist on each side longer. But as soon as we raise our arms, you'll see if you need to widen your grip or not. So we're gonna inhale, lift our arms up overhead, stretch the biceps behind the ears where you start to feel that stretch down the front of the shoulders and the chest. And then exhale, lower it right back down. So if you can't keep your arms straight, widen the grip, like open your arms out wider, okay? Okay, we're gonna take that a couple times, breath to movement. Inhale, we rise and stretch. Exhale, lower back down. This is called flossing out the shoulders. It's really, really lovely for the shoulders. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we stretch. Now engage your tummy here and your chest stays nice and lifted. So we're not rounding through the spine or anything. Act like there's a string on the crown of your head, lifting you up towards the heavens. Ah, feels so good. Or it starts to feel good after you've done it a few times, depending on how tight you are in your shoulders. Let's take this 3 more times. Big inhale to rise. Ah, exhale to lower back down. Inhale to rise. Exhale back down. Inhale to rise, and this time we're gonna stay lifted. Inhale, and then we're gonna take that stretch again, but it's just gonna feel a little different now that we're holding a stretch. So take a big stretch over to your right. Oh yeah, see how you feel it a little bit more through the front of your shoulder? That's the stuff. Inhale to come center, and then exhale, take it over to the left. Oh, I love it. And then inhale to come back to center. And then let's take big circles going all the way around our head. So take it down toward your left knee. I like to grab the opposite end. Reach it behind your head. Keep your arms straight. And this doesn't have to be fast. Down by your right knee. Reach it all the way behind. Again, flossing those shoulders out. Whoosh. Let's do it one more time in this direction. And then reverse it. Whee! Sometimes if you got a little confused in that, it happens all the time, don't worry. Let's take one more big one. Yes, and release, shake that out a little bit. Just take a moment to notice the difference in our neck and our shoulders. Just feel that openness, a little more openness. All right, now extend your legs out in front of you if they're not like that already. And if this is not comfortable for you and you're not loving sitting on the floor like this, place a cushion. In fact, I'll just do it. A cushion or a bolster. P.S. I got this bolster on Amazon. I think it's the best bolster I've ever had in my entire life at any studio. I'll share it if you guys want. I'm obsessed with it. I just keep laying on it in the living room and watching TV because it's the best ever. Anyways, sit your booty up on your bolster if you want, or you can just be flat on the ground. But make sure you're right on your sit bone. So move all the junk in your trunk. And then strap up the bottom of your feet. I want you to sit up nice and tall at first. So take a really big inhale here. Again, remember that string pulling us from the crown of the head straight to the sky. And then exhale, forward fold directly from your hips. So if I go into it with a round spine, I'm not getting very far, right? So go as far as you can with a flat back. And then if you want to round here at the end, you can. You can bend your knees if you need to, and then slowly with each exhale, maybe straighten them just a little bit more. And then flex your toes back towards your nose and spread your toes, especially if you wear shoes, like closed-toed shoes. So important to stretch our feet. We're gonna do a little stretch for our feet in a minute here as well. Let's just take 2 more breaths right here. Maybe getting a little bit closer to your legs with each exhale. Nice. Now inhale to rise back up. I want you to keep the strap around your right foot. And then I want you to take both sides of the strap with your left hand and lift that right leg up high to the sky. So facing forward, take a big inhale breath here. And then exhale, take a big twist to your right. So your arm can stay lifted directly out from your shoulder, or if it feels more comfortable, you can rest it on your mat behind you. Look over your right shoulder, finishing off the twist, and breathe here for a moment. Nice. Inhale to come center. And then hug this knee in toward your chest. You can remove the strap. And then I want you to open that knee out to the right. So the bottom of my right foot is on my inner thigh and my knee is open to the right. Now square your torso towards that straight leg and forward fold. If you want to have a strap here, you can strap up that left foot and breathe right here. One more big inhale. Exhale, let it go. Inhale to rise back up. Keep the strap on that left foot and then extend your right leg back out long. So now grab both sides of the strap with your right hand. Lift that leg up high to the sky. Big inhale here as our torso faces forward. And then exhale into your twist. Again, whatever variation you took on the other side. That left arm can stay lifted directly out from your shoulder or take it to the mat behind you. And then finally, let's look over the left shoulder, finishing off the twist. Breathe here. Awesome. Inhale to come back to center. Hug that knee in towards your chest. And then it's like a seated tree pose. So open the knee out to the left as the bottom of the foot comes to your right inner thigh. Square your torso towards your straight leg. And then exhale, forward fold, maybe strapping up the foot if you need a little assistance. And let's breathe right here for 3. And 2. And 1. Nice. Inhale to rise back up. You can remove the strap for a little bit. Extend both legs out behind you and let's just wiggle them out a little bit. Shimmy, shimmy, shake that shit out. Nice. And then if you are on a bolster or any kind of prop, you can make your way off of that prop, come onto all fours. And let's take a couple cat-cows. Inhale, sink the belly, lift the chest, look up to the sky. Exhale, round through the spine, look at your belly button. Inhale, sink the belly, lift the chest. Let's tuck our toes here. Get a little extra stretch down our tummies. And then exhale, point the toes back, round through the spine. Come onto your fingertips and really round through your shoulder blades so you're stretching the back of your heart. Your chin goes to your chest. Let's take one more of those. Inhale, sink the belly, lift the chest, tuck your toes. Exhale, point the toes back, round through the spine, come onto the fingertips. Inhale, sink the belly, lift the chest. And now if you have 2 blocks, grab 2 blocks. If you don't worry about it. And then I want your arms extended long, so completely straight, placing both hands on a block in the block's lowest position. Bring your big toes together and your knees far apart, and then sink your hips towards your heels for child's pose with the hands on blocks or not. Again, don't worry about it if you don't have props, it's not a big deal. And then let's bring our forehead to the mat and give our third eye space a little massage. Nice, let's take one more big inhale here. Exhale, let everything go. And then inhale back to all fours. If you have the blocks, leave them there. We're gonna stretch out those legs because we need it. So from here, I want you to step your right foot up in between your hands. And we're gonna start with 2 90-degree angles. So sit up nice and tall. So my back hip is right above my back knee and my front knee is right above my ankle. You're not getting really any kind of stretch here, but just stay here for a moment. Find your balance, like how far your right foot should be over. And just take a moment. Hands can be on your thigh. Nice. Now we're gonna go into stretching the front of this left hip flexor. So step your right foot forward slightly and sink your hips nice and low so you feel a nice stretch down the front of this left thigh. Beautiful. Maybe bring your hands down to a couple blocks or just leave your hands right there on your thigh. Whatever feels better. Breathe. Two more breaths right here. A little bit of a different vibe than yesterday, hey? Look how nice I can be. Awesome. All right, now I want you to take your hand, your right hand, to the inside of your right foot. If you're using a block, bring the block with you. Now I want you to walk that right foot all the way over to the right side of your mat. So this is just a little bit of a more open lunge, okay? And then sink those hips back in. Beautiful. If this is intense enough, stay on the palms of your hands, or maybe bring yourself down onto your forearms. Either way, something sustainable. We've got 5 breaths right here. One more option, just to get a different experience in the hip, is to come to the outside edge of your right foot. Breathe. This is a beautiful time to really start to check into the physical body. Notice where you're holding on to any tension, onto any kind of tightness, and see if you can just soften. How can you do the exact same thing, get the exact same result with doing just a little bit less? Nice, you guys. All right, if you're on the outside edge of that right foot, come back onto the bottom of your foot. Come onto the palms of your hands if you're not there already. And then we're gonna sink back into that hamstring stretch. So frame your front foot with your hands again, taking the right foot to the outside edge of your right foot. Tucking your right hand to the outside edge of your right foot. And then bring your hips down towards your back heel. Straighten that front leg. Move your blocks back, move your hands back. And then flex through your toes. So the toes reach back towards your nose. And we're going to take a little movement here. So I want you to bring your toes back to point towards your mat, the front of your mat. And then flex them right back towards your nose. Let's do that a couple more times. Toes extend towards the front of your mat. And then flex them back towards your nose. One more. Toes to the front of your mat. And flex it back. Now, rotating from your hip, take the toes over to the right side of your mat. Good morning, IT band. And then coming back to center, take the toes over to the left. Oh, hey. Don't stretch that very often unless you take my class. All right, toes back to the ceiling. I want you to rebend that front knee. Feels good. One more big stretch right there. And then come back to that 90-degree angle. So you might want to scoot your front foot back slightly. And then we're just going to come back to all fours. Bring big toes together, knees far apart. Sink the hips towards the heels, child's pose. Take a breather. Nice. Inhale to come back to all fours. We're going to take that same leg into a pigeon pose. So get your blocks out of the way and bring your right knee up to your right wrist and scoot that left leg back. I want your hips to stay square to the mat. If you have a hard time staying square and you tend to roll over onto that right hip, place a block or a rolled blanket underneath your right booty. Let's inhale, grow really, really tall right here. And exhale, forward fold, sleeping pigeon, a block under the forehead or a pillow might feel nice. 5 breaths right here. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, soften completely. Beautiful. Okay, now walk your hands back towards you and come back to all fours. And we'll take all of that onto the other side. So if you're using blocks, have your blocks handy at the front of your mat. And then step the left foot up in between your hands. We're gonna stay in that 90-degree angle to get started. Make sure you're not wobbly and you have a nice distance between your left side and your right side. Nice. And then when you're ready, step that left foot forward slightly and sink your hips down towards your mat. Now the hands can still stay on your thigh, or maybe we're gonna bring them down to the blocks, whatever's more comfortable for you. Breathe here. Awesome. Now we're gonna come into that lizard lunge. If your hands aren't down on the mat, bring them down to the mat and then bring your left hand and maybe your block to the inside of that left foot, and then walk that left foot all the way over to the left side of your mat. If this is enough, stay here, Or if you came down onto your forearms on the other side, come down onto your forearms on this side. And then lastly, maybe explore coming to the outside edge of that left foot. Again, 5 breaths here. Breathe really deeply. Moving our bodies with love, not pushing or forcing. Just let them open as much as they want to today. Again, how can we get the same result with doing a little bit less? Let's take the force out of today. And not just on our mat. Let's do that for the rest of the day. Beautiful. Let's take one more inhale. Again, soften completely on the exhale. And then if you're on the side of your foot, come back to the bottom of your foot. Come onto the palms of your hands. And we're going to frame our front foot with our hands again. And then let's sink our hips towards our heels. Straighten that front leg, coming back into that hamstring stretch. Walk your hands with or without your blocks back. And then flex your toes back towards your nose. And then taking that little point and flexion for a couple more. So point the toes back to the front of the mat. And then inhale, flex it back. Exhale, point your toes forward. And flex it back. Uno más, por favor. And flex it back. Nice. Now rotating from the hip, take the toes over to the left side of your mat. Breathe. Awesome. And then rotating from the hip, take the toes over to the right. Oh yeah. And then bring the toes back to the ceiling. Rebend that front knee. Sink the hips nice and low. See if there's just like a tiny bit more space you created than the first time you did this. Awesome. And then come back into that 90-degree angle. And then bring your left knee back to your right. Take a quick child's pose, hands on blocks or not, whatever feels better in your body. Just 2 breaths right here. Nice. Inhale back to all fours. You can remove the blocks unless you're going to use them underneath your forehead and or underneath your hip. And we'll make our way into that pigeon pose on our left side. Left knee up to the left wrist. Foot goes over to the right side of your mat. Walk that right foot back slightly. Sit up nice and tall. And then exhale, forward fold. Sleeping pigeon, maybe putting something underneath your forehead. And breathe. Soften. Surrender. Let go. One more big inhale. Exhale, really let go, really release. Nice. And inhale, walk yourself back up. Sit over on that left booty and extend your legs back out in front of you. We're gonna come onto our backs. Have your strap and your blocks, well, hell, and our bolster. Have everything just accessible in case you want it. You might not need them or want them, but at least they'll be right there waiting for you. Right there waiting for you. All right, I won't sing, I promise. Let's lay down. Bringing the bottoms of our feet together, knees fall open. And then I like a block underneath my knees or sometimes a little closer to my glutes. Play around with it. Also play around with what height feels good. It's different every day, so it's always important to kind of just play around for a sec. And then let's bring our left hand to our heart and our right hand to our belly. And just take a moment to be grateful for our bodies. Some of you really love classes like this. Some of you really resist them. I, for a long time, was very resistant. If I was going to spend an hour doing something, I better get a workout. But the more and more I do gentle classes like this and really focus on stretching and breathing, I just love them more and more, and my body is really loving them more and more. We really need both. So if you're one of the ones that struggle with this, I commend you, because it is so important. It's equally as important as getting that amazing workout in. To just calm, center, stretch. So just take a minute to honor your body. Thank your body for all that it does. And then take another couple moments to just be grateful for all the many blessings in your life. Thinking of 3 things you're so grateful for right now in this moment. Breathe into that gratitude. Fill yourself up with that gratitude. Nice. Let's take one huge cleansing breath here. Inhale through your nose. Part your lips and sigh everything out. And then let's hug our knees in towards our chest. And I want you to rock side to side. Let's explore our low back. What feels good? So we can rock side to side. We can keep the knees together and take some circles. In both directions, of course, because yogis go both ways. Or maybe separating the knees and circling them in the hip joints. Now, I kind of like all of them, but some days one feels better than the other. So let's just play for a moment. What feels good in your body today in this moment? And then I want you to keep your right knee hugged into your chest, extend your left leg long, and flex that right foot. Anytime your knee's bent, you want to flex foot. It protects your knee joint. And let's take 2 full breaths right here, breathing into the low belly, right where your thigh connects. Nice. One more big inhale. Exhale, let go. And then if you have your strap up the bottom of your foot and extend your leg straight up to the sky. Now, if you don't have a strap, just grab the back of your thigh or your calf or even your big toe with your peace finger. I do want your shoulder blades to stay pressed to the mat though. So let's just breathe right here. Breathe into the back of the leg. Spread your toes. Now we're going to take the leg out to the right. So if you have a strap, grab both straps in your right hand or just take your leg in your right hand and open the leg out to the right. Being mindful to keep this left hip on the mat. I sometimes like to place my left hand right on my hip as a gentle reminder. Or if you want to take up some space, extend that left arm out to the left and look to the left. So I'm looking opposite of where my foot went. Nice. Now come back to center. We're not going into a full twist here yet, so take a pause. Grab both sides of the strap with your left hand or grab your leg with your left hand, and we're just going slightly across the midline. So you should feel that IT band right along the right side of your hip really activate. You don't have to go too far over to the left. We'll go into a full twist in a moment. Let's just breathe right here in this space. Awesome. And now let's go into a full twist, taking that leg all the way across the body. I actually like a little block underneath my ankle, but not necessary. And then if this is intense enough, just hang out right here or bend that bottom leg, your left leg, grabbing the top of the foot or the ankle to get a little quad stretch in this too. Little human pretzel pose for you. Nice. One more big inhale. Exhale, let it go. Then if you took that quad stretch, extend the left leg out underneath you and come back to center. Remove your strap and hug both knees in towards your chest. Rock side to side or circle the knees, whatever feels better. And then keep the left knee hugged into your chest. Extend the right leg long. Flex through that left foot. And breathe deeply into the low belly, right where the thigh and the tummy connect. And then strap up the bottom of that left foot. Extend your legs straight up to the sky. Breathe into the back of the leg. Spread your toes. Then take both sides of the strap in your left hand. Open the leg out to the left. Either keeping your right hand on your hip as a gentle reminder to keep that booty to the mat, Or extend your right leg out to the, right arm out to the right and look over to the right thumb. Breathe. Inhale to come back to center. Take both sides of the strap in your right hand and then gently just across the midline until you activate that left whoosh IT band. Awesome. And then let's go into a full twist. I'm a little too close to the wall, but we'll make it work. And then if you took the bottom leg on the other side for that quad stretch, that human pretzel pose, take it on this side. Breathe here. Nice. And release that bottom leg if you have it. Come back to center. And we're going to take a modified legs up the wall. So if you have a wall close by, you can just flip around and take your legs up the wall, or just add your right foot up to meet your left, strapping them both, spread your toes, flex your feet. And let's take 5 big breaths right here. So I want your legs to be straight, wherever that is. If it's down here, that's totally fine. Breathe, shoulder blades pinned to the mat, shoulders are in their sockets. Nice. One more big inhale. Exhale, ditch your strap. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big, huge hug. Tell yourself how awesome you are for showing up this week, showing up today, taking care of yourself. Hey, hey. Ah, feels so nice. And then we're going to rock and roll from our hips to our shoulders, forward and back. Wee-hee. To a comfortable seated position. Before we finish up, we're just going to do a little toe stretch. So I want you to tuck your toes right here. This is going to be a little intense, but you'll be okay. Like everything else, this is temporary. So tuck your toes and then sink your hips back towards your heels and then sit up on your heels. So my shoulders are right above my hips are on my heels. We're breathing here for 10 breaths. Instead of focusing on the discomfort, maybe take your vision into how much your feet do for you, how they walk us through this beautiful journey called life. This is really good. It actually even opens up the front meridian of the body, so it's excellent for our liver, it's excellent for everything, our digestive system, any kind of blockages. Let's take 3 more breaths right here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more big inhale. And exhale. Come to all fours. Point your toes back. Give them a little tappy tap tap. And then come to a comfortable seated position. We'll take one more cleansing breath together. Big inhale through your nose as the arms fan up overhead. Fill up. Be grateful. And exhale out your mouth as we come to heart center. Infinite love and gratitude. Namaste. If you guys want to slide into a Shavasana, you can. I'm just going to be cut off of our Zoom in about 3 minutes here, so